Caroline McFarlane-Watts brought Polymer Clay into the spotlight in the entertainment world. Her sculptures have appeared on TV, she has served as a judge on the HBO competition show, and her work has been showcased in galleries worldwide. From her studio, Tall Tales Production in Los Angeles, she now produces collectible figurines sold in over 50 countries. We sat down with Caroline to talk about her journey and how she turned her passion into global success. Welcome to the Czech Republic. First of all, I'm the most grateful that you chose to work with us, that you trust us with the projects, and I hope you had a great journey. So, how are you doing? What is your current feeling?
I'm so happy to be here. Yeah. So I was really happy you invited me, really honored to be here. And yeah, it's been really good. Because I've just been here one day now, yeah?
Yeah,
just one day.
It's just a start.
So it just started, but already I'm seeing like the architecture and everything is so exciting, and I like the food.
Yeah, well, when it comes to architecture, you are pretty much inspired by the British architecture, the Victorian era, right?
Yeah.
So how does that influence your artwork? And perhaps when you are traveling, are you looking around you for inspiration?
I absolutely am. I love... I don't like modern architecture. I like interesting old architecture of different eras. And I'm looking at the architecture here, and it's the romantic with the stone and I'm already getting inspired because I was looking at it when I arrived, and I was thinking, okay, I want to make this. Definitely going to make something like this.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I would love to get at the very, very, very beginning, if you don't mind, because you are a sculptor. You create incredible characters. You have a huge experience in movie industry, and you've been on set of Harry Potter. So all of your artworks and success, that's incredible. But when it comes to the very beginning, how did it all started? When did you realize that the art path is the right way for you?
Oh, right. It's a really good question. So I have like a long answer and a short answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so I discovered polymer clay when I was about 7 or 8. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started loving creating things with my hands and making that kind of thing. And then it was like an interesting journey to get into the film industry, where I use polymer clay all the time. But it was a weird one. I mean, I was on Harry Potter for a bit, because I did my degree in film, and I was on Harry Potter for a bit, and I thought, yes, this is what I want to do, the art side of film, the practical side. You know, it's really fun to do the hands-on making things. And then I went to LA to pursue that more, and I started working with polymer clay like really properly then when I was in America, because they have all kinds of productions and commercials and TV film which uses miniatures, and they use polymer clay a lot, especially for like stop motion animation.
Yeah.
So like when you see like Wallace and Gromit, or you know the Leica films like Coraline, you know, all of those. There's all the like set pieces, props. It's all made of polymer clay, or most, you know, a lot of it is. So it's an art form I love.
That's quite unknown to the heart of the polymer clay community, it feels like.
Yeah.
Like they don't know where else they've been using that on the highest level possible. Yeah. So that's so nice to hear. When it comes to the other materials, I guess you were experimenting and playing with all sorts of materials, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like when building miniature sets, like if it's lots of buildings or something, you're often not really using wood, you're using foam core. I don't know what you would call it here, but it's got a different name in England. But like lightweight, you know, foam and cardboard and stuff, just to build structures that are light. But then for interior stuff, for sets, if you need to make furniture and quick pieces of just anything, it's so easy to do it with polymer clay. Now, I know today now people are doing lots more 3D printing of stuff, but then there was a backlash against that, because I think people thought that you lost the charm, because stop motion films, everything looks handmade. That's why it's fun. So people really do use a lot of polymer clay, because unlike plasticine, you know, it doesn't harden. So polymer clay looks like you've used plasticine, and then you can just harden it in the oven. So.
Yeah. Well, what was the transition from UK to USA? Because that must been, or that had to be a huge deal, right, at the moment?
Yeah, exactly. So, I did my degree in film and then got jobs in London, and the jobs were in TV, and I was sitting at a desk doing paperwork. I hated it so much. So then when I was lucky to, I begged to go and work on Harry Potter for a bit. So I did that, and I thought, yes, this is what I want to do more. This is the art. But there isn't much, or there wasn't much that I could get in London. That's why I went to LA, because I just knew I could really become an artist and really just do more in LA. So that's why I moved,
Well, what was the reaction of the people around you when they found out about the polymer clay material? Because in some art segments, they feel like it's quite less, it's not enough, it's not artistic enough, like a glass or, let's say, silver, metal. So did you have any sort of experience like that, or was it always really embraced for that charm that you can create with that?
That's a great question. Yeah, it's always been really embraced in my world, because I understand now in like the fine art world and in jewelry world, people have, like you said, they think, oh, maybe glass or ceramics or something is I don't know, better or something. But in the film world, there isn't none of that feeling, because it's like you want to get the job done and make it look good. And polymer clay is just so versatile, and you can just create something fast and make, and it has the right aesthetic. So especially, a lot of my friends, or most of my friends, are in the film industry. And they work in like special effects, like I think I told you about my friend. So they do like monster films, aliens, special effects, all of those things. And everyone embraces polymer clay, because, like, for example, if you want to design a big werewolf costume that someone's going to wear in a horror film, they start by sculpting it in polymer clay to get the three-dimensional form. And so they'll make a maquette, like a figurine. And so I'm around a lot of artists who use polymer clay all the time, and there is no stigma of, oh, it's not good, because we're not creating fine art, we're getting a job done.
So it's functional, that's the main thing, right? When it comes to the Hollywood, you've been living for years now. How does that influence you in general? Because I assume the people around, incredible talents everywhere, the film industry and the culture, how is it there, and how is it different than UK?
I love the culture, so especially in my area of LA, it feels like everyone around me is doing the same thing. Everyone's sort of artistic and entrepreneurial, creative, and it's a wonderful world to be in for someone like me, because I thrive in it, because everyone's sort of artistic, and you see and then we're all looking at each other's Instagram pages, and someone will sculpt something really impressive, and I'll think, oh, that's so much better than me. Okay, I'm going to do better. And it makes you motivated to do better and to do more. And I think when I was in the UK, so London is the banking capital of Europe. And I just felt like when I was in London, it feels like everyone's in accounting, banking, and that felt like the vibe. It didn't feel like a creative... it just didn't feel like that for me. It didn't work for me. I left and really found my place in LA.
And how long has it been for you?
Long time. It's actually been, I think it's been 16 years.
16 years?
I think 16, yeah.
Something going like back to visit family or
friends? Yeah, I go to England 2-3 times a year. Like just popping by, constantly visiting.
Do you miss it sometimes? When
No, I really miss Europe. I really miss England, because I miss the food more. But I miss that, and I miss family. And I honestly, I love the English way, the English culture. I really miss England. I really miss Europe. But yeah, in terms of for my career, LA is great for me, and it's just better for me. But just for the career in the artistic world, and I love the sunshine, I have to say, I do.
Well, the LA has been the home for your business as well. Was it difficult in the beginning to set up things there when being in a new country?
I didn't find it was that difficult. I had an advantage, and this is a funny thing. Americans seem to really embrace someone who's like foreign in a way. It's like, because I'm English, it's like, oh, the English girl. Oh, Caroline, she's British. And it made me stand out. And it was like, I felt like it was easier to make friends and join communities, because I'm like, oh, the British girl. Whereas in England, everyone, there was nothing that made me stand out or something. if that makes sense.
Definitely. And what was the first step when setting up the business? Like, did you have the idea? Because right now it has grown into an incredible scale, but how was it when you first came to the USA?
Well, I came to America not with my business at first. I came thinking I want to work in the film industry, build up my name and do these things. And so I started getting work experience. I actually came over on a student visa originally. And I started doing work experience and building up my portfolio with Polymer Clay and making stuff. And then I started putting it online in like a blog. And, you know, I guess back in the day, it was like Flickr or something, just like putting it up there. And I did feel like there's so many people in the industry who do film and sculpture and all that are men. And I felt like one of the only females in a way. And I felt like I wasn't going to get taken seriously maybe as much. So I thought, I'm going to come up with just a name so it's not necessarily me. So I came up with Tall Tales Productions. And then I started putting my work out, and I would get commissions and people would email me and a lot of the time I think people just did assume I was a man or something. Not that I said
I was always wondering why it's Telltale Productions, because obviously the name is perfect, but also you put that brand on the first place rather than going by your full name. So that was exciting.
Oh yeah. So I kept always using the name Tall Tales Productions, and I was getting published in magazines, and you know, it was all going so well. But I just wanted to be taken more seriously, and I don't want to sound like the film industry is sexist or anything, but I did feel like someone sees your work and they take you seriously, and they maybe want to hire you for a commission or hire you for something. And then when they know you're a little girl called Caroline from England, they just change the attitude of it or something. So maybe they'll offer you less money or something, or maybe, I don't know. I just liked sort of being non-gender specific.
Yeah. So that hasn't been easy, right? Like finding a place within the society when there are certain standards. Obviously, female, males. That's just,
it wasn't easy. I mean, I don't really talk about it very often, like the difficult part and the gender stuff, but because I don't want to sound ungrateful for. I mean, I'm so happy and lucky with everything I've been able to do, so I don't want to whine about it. But yeah, that was definitely tricky part.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and what about now? Like you have a certain level, definitely, that you reached. The success is definitely there. How do they treat you? Like, do they see? Are they perhaps different than before? Like now, when you have certain reputation, which is obviously great.
Yeah, because before I was just the British girl or something like that, and you didn't know how you were going to get treated. Like, I would go for a job interview, and the typical Hollywood casting thing would sometimes happen. Oh, I'd like to give you this job. Can we go for dinner tonight? You know, all this nonsense. But now, because I'm grateful, you know, I'm lucky enough that my work has achieved some. What should I say?
Prestige.
That's a good word. So because of that, I'm not that British girl who does some. I'm Caroline McFarlane-Watts, or in some sense. So,
does social media play a certain role in that?
Definitely.
Yeah. Do they look at numbers?
They do. And it's funny because I watched all my friends, we did join Instagram, and I remember when I started getting followers, and I was like, oh, this is good. And then my numbers were like at 40,000, 50,000, and my friends were like, I'm at 15. And then they carried on. Some of my friends like 150,000, 200,000, and mine just stopped at 70, so that's irritating, but it's okay.
Yeah, so this social media plays a huge role, right, in that industry.
Yeah.
And also perhaps when it comes to advertisement, it's a way how to get people to know about what's going on. And I think that I even read an interview where when it comes to models, they are actually looking at your Instagram and they give you the job rather if you are pretty and if you fit the role, but also if you have some space you created online. And for them, it's also it's a part of how they decide that you get a job. So it's quite a fun and also sad way how we do things in today's world.
I mean, it's a funny world because, I know that if I had a bigger following, I would probably get some other jobs. Yeah. Because, when someone's going to hire you, they will look at your numbers for prestige. So Yeah, and then like you said, I've had some jobs, I know I've had some jobs where I was on TV where I think because I'm bubbly female, you know, I think they might have picked me instead of someone who doesn't like to be on camera as much or something.
Yeah, but you know, in this case, I think that the art is one thing, but you are such a vibrant person, and it goes so well with the artwork. Like, I think it's such a great connection. Like, you transferred yourself definitely to your art.
Oh,
that's very difficult to do for most of the artists.
No one's actually really said that to me before. That's like a really nice, unusual compliment.
Well yeah, it goes well together. Well, I was also curious because you started Tales production. You create figurines that are mass-produced. So when did you get the idea that the mass production could be a way for creating something different, creating a project like that, and perhaps making a living by that?
So I started doing that during the pandemic. So before that, I was mostly doing commission work. So I would make figurines, as you know, or sets, or model sets and props, all of that. I would do that for different projects. Someone would hire me for commercial, film, this. And, you know, the projects would come here and there. And in between, I would sell some work here and there to collect, you know, like private people. But then with the pandemic, everything stopped, you know. People weren't making films as much, and it was starting to slow down. But at that time, I was already starting to be interested in the idea of making things not for the film industry, but for the collector's market. Because then you've got it's the other side to my business with a much more steady income. So I started mass producing my work through China, and then importing it and then selling it to collectors instead of just focusing on the commissions. And during the pandemic, I mean, everyone said, oh, 2020 was the worst year for them and stuff. And I feel guilty because 2020 was my best year.
Right?
It was a really good year for me because everyone was at home and some people were bored and they weren't spending money going out, so they had more money, some people. And so I started releasing figurines and then more and more and more. And it was actually, there was a time where China, the factories closed for a bit. So then I started doing it domestically as well, and hiring casting people, hiring painters, and doing a lot of it myself as well. And it just grew and grew and grew. And it's the part of my business that I love the most, actually. It's the collector's world. Yeah.
And, you know, there must be so many different things that you have to do in order to create such mass-produced pieces. I can see, and I don't know about it, but I can see just the business part, the customs, the paperwork, and the molds and everything. So has that been difficult for you to figure out step by step? Because that's a whole different industry than to sculpt a piece, right?
Yeah, no, it's like you figure it out once and then you kind of know, but you have to sort of learn it. Because I remember when I was first doing it, and I was learning as I went, and I sent the molds to China, and then and they were saying, okay, transfer $20,000. Like, okay, now transfer another 20. Okay, that feeling. But then they said, okay, we're going to start printing the packaging. And I had someone help me design the packaging, and then we sent then they said, okay, where's the barcode? And I'm like, we need the barcode for this product. And I was like, I don't know. And it's on Google, okay, how do you create a barcode? How do you? So like you panicking and learning things and then doing it, and then
the shipment comes.
Yeah. Then I did it and I arranged it with the factory, and then the factory said, okay, where are we sending it? And I was like, to this address. And they were like, you have to organize the crate, you have to organize the shipping, which courier you're using. And I was like, So you learn it at the beginning.
Yeah. And do you enjoy this part?
Well, at the beginning I was like panicking, but it was fun. But now I'm fine because I know what to do.
Yeah. Well, and what about being the boss? Because you have people employed. So how does that feel, having more people working for you?
No, I really like it. I love to be in control of what I do. I mean, just to be in control of my own career like that. And and the people I've worked with have been so nice. I've been lucky because they've been really great people. And I mean, I have this lady who does stuff for me, and she's just so good, and she's fast and she's great. And then it was a funny story though. I hired this guy more recently, and he's a really good artist, and he had good recommendations and a resume, CV, and everything. And I had a look at some of his work, and I thought, well, I'll just do a trial with him at first. So I'll give him a small piece that's not super important, and I'll just say, replicate this small piece, only just do it 50 times. And then if it's good, I can have him come and do more and bigger pieces and do all the units. And so I said, so you can do this piece exactly the same, yeah? And it was a little tortoise. And I said, so this is the master, you have this. And I was like, so you can replicate. And he's like, yeah. So then the casting guy gave him all these pieces. And then I was calling him, are we on schedule? I pick up the pieces. Yeah, okay, good, great. Got the pieces. I opened the box, and they didn't look like mine at all. And I was like, what is this? And he said, yeah, I like your idea, but I changed it, and I made the eyes like this, and I painted this, and I did this. And I was like, because it looks fun that way, right? And I was like,
that's what you did.
I said, I'm selling it based on this photograph. So it has to look like that.
Yeah.
So, and then he was like, oh, sorry. And he took them all back and painted them all again without extra charge. So there's learning curves, but he was really nice. So
yeah. Isn't that difficult to find the right person for the right or for the exact task? Because when it comes to that artistry thing, I feel like from my experience, there are some people that are more than happy to do the work by your standards. They don't have any problem with them. But obviously those who can't fit into that box, they rather experiment. And sometimes that's not what you need.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, he was really nice. And all these pieces, honestly, they were beautiful. He did a really good job, but it didn't look like the photo.
Yeah.
And I was selling them. I already had all these sales and they needed to ship out. And I couldn't send those to customers because they would say, well, this isn't like the picture. So, yeah, he was really nice. So I just said, look, it has to look. That's why I gave you this one.
When it comes to the personal artwork or yours and the mass-produced, what is the different approach in those days?
So I'm really lucky that the people who've done painting for me are really good, and they really do match my work really well. But it's different. Like if you just paint one figurine on your own, you're going to do it a certain way, stages, and blending and everything. But when you do loads of units, like if you're working for me and I give you 100 units of the same thing, you don't paint it the same way. You don't just do one and then stop and then do the next one. It's different. So you'll paint like all the blue areas first, and then all the red. So almost like painting by numbers. And then you know what I mean? Because it's like, instead of like working it, you're just like all of this part, all of this part, all of this part. And that's the efficient way, because then it's all drying whilst you do the next. So that's the way everyone does it. And honestly, the final result, it looks really good. Not exactly the same, but really good.
And what do you enjoy the most? Like creating figurines for the mass produce, or experimenting with something new where you can't kind of go big because there are no rules with that?
Experimenting.
Yeah.
That's way more fun. That's why for fun I do those reels sometimes, because sometimes I just feel creative and I just want to quickly sculpt something and not worry about it, not think about it for collector's market. So I'll just for fun just get out some clay and just make something for fun. And I put my mobile phone on a stand and just film it, and then that's really fun. And then it's done, and then I put the reel up and it gets some attention. But when I have to sculpt something that's going to be turned into a collectible piece, it's more stressful because you have to really think about it, because every area has to be perfect, and you can't when you cut into a shape with the clay, you can't have anything that goes too underneath or too deep, because then the mold won't work. So you have to think about that. And if you put an arm sticking out, then that has to be in a separate mold. So you have to find the way to attach them, and it all has to be precise. So it's not a fun experience. It's like a tricky.
It's difficult, right?
Yeah, it's kind of tricky. So
yeah. Well, I guess that comes with every single product that you have to figure out and create, and the packaging and the filling of the packaging, like all those things that people do.
The factory do that. They're great. They'll cut the like foam to fit exactly with the figurine. So and they have a guarantee that you can drop it from 12 feet and it won't break. Yeah,
that's great.
So that's good.
Yeah, and with your personal, or all of that is personal, but I mean with that experimental artwork, you've been going quite big, right? Like you've been creating more and more on scale. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I've been starting to do bigger pieces. Yeah, just for fun. We're just having some fun lately.
Is it different different than creating tiny ones?
Yeah, I love it, actually. I mean, I really like doing little tiny things. That was really fun. I think miniatures are, I don't know, I think it's really fun. But I think when we spoke a few months ago, I was making like a big elephant, which is finished now. I really enjoyed that. That's going to be in a gallery soon in LA, but yeah, it was fun.
Well, I'm also curious about all that experience you had on Harry Potter movie set. You were, am I right? It was also Narnia or different one? What was the second?
You're probably thinking in my credits, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So actually,
that's fascinating.
Yeah, well, so that was I have a credit for that, but that was actually not the art department side. So I was working on that, but it was
but it was a way how to get into the industry.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that was good. And but like more recently today, I don't do so much as much in the art department behind scenes of film and behind the scenes in film. I'm doing collector's market a lot, and I'm doing more and more TV shows. So I'm excited because I've got something coming up next year.
Wow.
So yeah, so but that's becoming more and more fun. Like I'm going in front of the camera for it, which is different.
Yeah. Well, what about the TV show? I think you were a judge there, right?
Oh, yeah, that was a different one. Yeah.
Was that the first one you did before?
No, I did a different one before that. Yeah.
So how do you like the set of the TV shows and that?
I really like it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned I used to be a little bit camera shy, but now I told you about that. But no, it's really fun, and it's always like a really nice crowd, a really nice experience. It's like the Polymer Week group. I'm here with everyone here. Everyone's so nice, and there's a wonderful energy and vibe because everyone's working together towards the same goal, and it's just such a lovely experience. It's like that a lot on film sets because everyone, they all know each other, they're all working towards the same goal, and so it's a lovely energy. It's like this. Yeah.
Well, is it happening in LA mostly? Like, is it a great way to...
Mostly. When I get, like, because I'm getting more and more TV things now. I just did something in Atlanta last week, and then the week before that I was filmed with PBS and stuff, so I'm doing much more, but it is mostly in America, although I did do some stuff in China.
Wow. China sounds incredible. And what is the art community there, and what was the experience?
Oh, that was a really fun experience. I was invited to go to China and exhibit my work in the middle of this huge, beautiful mall in Shanghai. And it was great. They built these custom cases, and it was wonderful. And so I did that, and then they had some local TV crews come and interview me, and then they had a translator, and then I also taught in China at that same event. So that was my first time teaching abroad. So that was really fun.
And the teaching itself, is that your favorite thing to do?
I love teaching. I don't do it very often because I don't have time, because like you, I'm so ambitious, I'm so hardworking. So I'm always trying to like create, sculpt, make, do this, do that. So teaching ends up being like the last thing that I end up having time to do. But I told you I really wanted to do this because I always wanted to come to the Czech Republic. Yeah. And obviously the Polymer Week community is so great. So but yeah, I love teaching.
Well, we are very grateful to have you. Because
grateful.
You know, it's rare, as you said, having you as a teacher, and I feel like that everyone is really excited about creating how to build a character out of Polymer Clay with you. So
I'm excited to do it. There's lots of Americans who are annoyed though because they're saying you never have time to teach, and now you're teaching.
No, it is there. Yeah. Well, thank you, Caroline. I'm really grateful for you coming here and spending the time with us, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it. I hope you will.
I will.
And thank you from the bottom of my heart to being so warm towards the projects that we do and having such a nice approach, because since the first time we started talking, I feel like that it's really unique how warm and how friendly you are in terms of any kind of help. And I know how busy you are, so that surprised me even more that you are having that wonderful attitude. So thank you.
Thank you. And like right back at you. I know I'm a huge admirer of yours and everything you're doing, and I'm really honoured and thrilled to be here.
Thank you so much.